Okay, so we're seeing these headlines, right? Israel under attack again. But this time, I don't know about you, but it feels different.
It does, doesn't it?
Lebanon, Gaza, even Yemen is in the mix now. It's like the whole region is on edge. And I think people want to understand, like, how'd we get here? Where could this be going? So let's do a deep dive. Yeah, let's untangle this whole multi-front conflict thing, try to make sense of it.
Absolutely, yeah. This is way bigger than just another news cycle. I mean, just look at the sheer number of actors who are involved here. It's really concerning. I think to really wrap our heads around it, we need to take it piece by piece.
Look at each front.
Yeah. But then also how it all connects, like almost like we're looking at a chessboard.
Okay, so let's do that. Let's start with Lebanon. Hezbollah launching over 190 rockets into Israel. That's not just like a border skirmish or two. Right?
Oh, no. This is a major escalation.
Yeah.
To really grasp the weight of this, we have to understand Hezbollah, they're backed by Iran, right? And they've been quietly but steadily building up their arsenal. I mean, some estimates put their missile capabilities at like 200% stronger than just 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. And this attack, this shows they are not afraid to flex that muscle.
So then you have Israel responding, and this is something, 120 airstrikes in just 1 hour.
That's intense.
Intense, yeah. What are they hoping to accomplish with that? I mean, what can you even hit in an hour?
Okay, so Israel sees Hezbollah as an existential threat, not just some annoyance. You know, they are trying to cripple Hezbollah's ability to launch any more attacks. So we're talking weapons depots, command centers, the whole shebang.
But then there's always another side to that, right? I mean, what about
the civilians?
The civilians who are caught in the middle of all this.
Absolutely, and that's the tragedy unfolding here. It's awful.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. Okay, so we've got to talk about Gaza too. This isn't just some, one-off thing. It's been a year of clashes there. What's different now?
So it's not just an anniversary. This latest flare-up, it feels like we're at a boiling point. Yeah. It's important to remember that Hamas in Gaza, they're also connected to Iran, part of that network, even though their goals are, more focused on their specific area. Israel's demolition of the launch sites, that shows they want to break this cycle of attack and then retaliation. But in such a densely populated area, I mean, how do you even begin to do that?
It's almost impossible to imagine.
It's incredibly difficult, yeah.
So, okay, Lebanon, Gaza, they both sort of trace back to Iran in a way. But then we have this whole Yemen thing, and that feels like a whole other level. How does that even fit into all of this?
See, that's the real wild card here. Because if those missiles were really from Yemen, and that's still an if, it means the Houthis, who are, surprise, surprise, also backed by Iran, are now entering the game. And you got to think about what that means. Opening up a southern front while Israel is already dealing with Lebanon and Gaza. I mean, it makes you think, is this a deliberate strategy to overwhelm Israel on all sides?
So multiple fronts, the potential for this to get even bigger. I mean, is there an end game here? What happens next?
Well, Netanyahu has vowed to dismantle Hamas, to free the hostages. But realistically, how do you do that without putting boots on the ground? And a massive ground operation, well, that has a whole other set of risks, right?
Right.
The international community, they're urging restraint. But honestly, I'm not sure how much influence they actually have right now.
It's such a mess. And as always, it's the civilians who are paying the price.
It is. It's a stark reminder of the human cost of these long-standing tensions. And the longer this goes on, the worse it will get.
It's awful all around. And it really does make you think, are these isolated incidents, or are we seeing the beginning of something much larger?
That's the question, isn't it? And that's what has everyone on edge right now.
It's a lot to think about. And I think for our listeners, the big takeaway here, if there is one, is to consider this. In our interconnected world, how far could this go? What happens if it spills beyond the region? Something to ponder, right?
Definitely something to keep an eye on.